Most people think you need a corporate job to work and move abroad, but that's not true because I moved to Thailand as a hairdresser, became an artistic director, and had my visa sponsored so I could work there legally and live there. At the time, I was already living in Bali, so I'd already left the US and was living overseas. I had put my villa on Airbnb and it rented out for 30 days. So I was thinking, if it was for 30 days and I had to be gone for 30 days, why not go stay in another country for 30 days and just pay rent there? I did. I went to Thailand. But before I went, I reached out to salons because I wanted to see kind of what their culture was like. So I reached out to salons and I asked them, hey, can I come hang out in your salon for a day? I'm from the United States of America. I'm a Paul Mitchell National Educator. I'd love to come hang out. So I didn't move there with a job lined up or this huge like master plan. I just wanted to experience another country and explore the beauty industry there. Once I got the villa booked for a month, I started reaching out to different salons on Facebook. Not even necessarily asking for a job. I really just wanted to go and spend a day in their salons. I wanted to experience the culture and see how things work there in that country. Eventually, I got a response, and it was from the owner of a distributorship in Bangkok, and he was the distributor for Paul Mitchell, Thailand. And we had that connection because we both worked for Paul Mitchell. When you work for a company for 10 years, 20 years, you realize the people that are still with that company and have been there for a long time, they have good values. We made that connection right away. At the time, I was already a national educator for Paul Mitchell. Everything happened through Facebook Messenger, and they actually picked me up from the airport. We had sushi and drinks, and then we ended up going out after. It was an unforgettable night. That was my first night in Bangkok. So I intended to be in Thailand just for 30 days, and I wanted to visit as many salons as I could. So I started talking to the owner of the distributorship. And the more and more we talked, the more I realized I wanted to stay there and I wanted to be part of their team as an educator. We sat down and really talked about what it would take, what it would entail for them to sponsor me so that I can get my work permit. That's what I had to do. It took about 6 months. They sponsored me. The process was not difficult. Well, at least for me, it may have been more for them. I know it was a lot of paperwork, but it took a long time. And while I was waiting for everything to be approved, I was still able to do freelance classes at different salons. The company handled pretty much all of the paperwork. I got an interpreter, so when I teach my classes, I had my interpreter with me. She also helped me get my apartment there, open up my bank account, which is like the first thing you need to do if you want to get a visa in that country, and then have an address, and she helped me with all that. And her name was Joy. She became a great friend of mine and showed me all the parts of Thailand that I never would have seen if I didn't know her. So now, what was it like working in Thailand? I eventually became the artistic director there, which was such a surreal experience. They loved that there was an American presence in their country, and that's because Paul Mitchell is an American brand. No, my life was not luxurious. It was not even air conditioned all the time. My commute to work was about an hour, and it entailed me riding a scooter or walking to the subway. At the subway, there was a market downstairs, and I would get some fresh fruit or juice, but I would also be sweating. You'd sweat like 5 times a day there. It's very, very hot. So I would walk to the subway, get a little something to eat, wait for the subway, get on the subway. I'd switch trains a few times, then walk again once I got off to get to work. Sometimes I take a scooter instead of walking part of the way, but I always had to carry a poncho because the rain there was very often. They had a rainy season and it rained a lot. But it didn't stop anybody from working or riding their scooter. Those are some of the best memories I'll have about Thailand. Think about my salary and cost of living. I was on a salary there, so I got paid monthly, once a month, and it went directly into my bank account. What I made per month is about what I would make per week here in the United States. So I made enough to live comfortably, which I did. And my lifestyle was just very different than here in the US. I took public transportation. I ate food out of a bag sometimes or on the side of the road out of a styrofoam. That's just how they did it. I mean, it wasn't unheard of to see me sitting on the back of a schooner sideways, lady style. I knew the company that sponsored me, it was like $20,000 or maybe even more. They invested a lot to bring me there to Bangkok legally. You liked it so much in Thailand. If it was so awesome, why did you come back? Well, because of COVID. That's why. COVID hit, countries started shutting down. Eventually, the embassy contacted me and said, hey, what's your plans? Because the distributorship that I worked for ended up closing down because all of the salons in Thailand, everybody was on lockdown. So they didn't need the distributorship if the salon wasn't open. If the salon wasn't open, I wasn't getting paid. So I had to make the decision whether I was gonna stay or where I was gonna go. That was my main source of income. So decided to come home, and that was April 1st. It was a real emotional time because Thailand had become part of my heart. And I was in the middle of this journey with all of my educators, and I just had to leave. I didn't even get to tell everybody bye. If you ever thought about moving out of the country and using your skills, especially in the beauty industry, it is possible. And I hope this inspires you to take the big leap and think bigger. Opportunities out there that most people just don't even realize. You have to put yourself out there though. Some people just think that it's impossible, and it's not. Mine literally started with a Facebook message. Trust me, I have so many stories about Thailand. If you want to hear them, just put it down in the comments. If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment. If you have any questions or advice for my future travels, let me know.